Ally Spawn,
Calvin Nolan,
Colleen Garside,
Ted Bear.
Sean Luoma.
oh,
Board
okay,
members.
that's it. Okay, so do I have a motion for the consent calendar approval of the regular board minutes of April 2nd, 2021 minutes, April financial reports, and monthly invoice list, regular and special bills as presented.
So moved.
Okay.
I'll
anyone-
second.
Okay, thank you. Operators report.
Okay, we are up. Let's see, are you posting it online too? Did any of you like my report, or do I just need to read it?
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, you can go ahead. I will pull it up and share.
Okay. Should wait for them there. Maybe okay, I'll go ahead and get started here. Okay, so this is going to be reflecting the month of April. So we're looking at just over 6.5 million gallons, 6,665,000 gallons produced by the wells during April. Works out to be 222,000 gallons per day produced by the wells. This is the equivalent of 473 gallons per day per service connection and 470 connections. Now this is kind of what we've been waiting for, because we read our meters for the first time at the end of April to get our comparison with what our customers are using. So we get to take a look at that. So, wintertime consumption, this is basically October 1st to the end of April. 45,824,000 gallons produced by the wells from September 30th to April 30th. 19,894,000 gallons, or almost 19,894,000 gallons, almost 20 million gallons of consumption registered through customer meters. This works out to be 16,000 gallons per day produced by the wells, of which 94,000 gallons per day is registered through customer meters. This is the equivalent customer consumption of 200 gallons per day per service connection when you actually look at customer meters. Unaccounted for water lost is 25,930,000 gallons, almost 26 million gallons, or 57% of total production by the wells. So obviously that's why we got a facilities plan going, why we're working on getting these leaks tracked down. So you can see how, go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna, maybe you were going there, I was gonna say there's quite a difference between that and 2020, the
Yeah.
winter time.
Yeah,
Yep, you can look and you can see there's a significant difference, but one of the things we will note, and Bob, you can vouch for this too at other systems, some of my systems are already at summertime usage, because it's been dry lately. Now again, this is reflecting April though, so it has been drier, but yes, it has also increased. Keep in mind this, when you see 45 million to, from 38 million in the previous year, we did have one customer that had 4.2 million gallons go through their meters
Right.
over the winter. So that can make
Yeah,
that can add up, you
Yep.
know, because that's included
Big
in on that.
difference.
So as you look at the numbers there, you can see and look at the difference, especially on the metered side. This year we at almost 20 million gallons registered through customer meters. Last year it was just over 14 million gallons. So there's a 6 million gallon difference, of which 4 million is significant,
leakage.
and we did have a couple others that had several 100,000 gallons in there for leakage also.
Okay.
So that's what we've got there. So you can see how it compares with last year, previous year. You can see from 2020, and we don't go. We were looking at 2020 with 38 million gallons.
Right.
If you go down to 2019, you see 37 million gallons. So it was closer to what 2020 was. 13 million gallons registered through customer meters. So you can see the comparison there, how it works out. But obviously we've got things we've got to fix and work out.
Yeah, and have you talked to the 4 million gallon people?
Haven't yet. I think we have letters that went out to all the customers.
Yes,
that-
leak letters went out, and that's on the agenda
Right,
Okay.
okay.
to
So
discuss
we
the
can
update.
discuss that then.
Good.
Okay. All right, and then down to, I've made a note, we already just discussed that, under water system items, B, one commercial customer used 4.2 million gallons over the winter. Amazing how things are picking up there. We've actually, this was last week, it was 10 new meter installations, now it's 12.
Yeah.
It's just really, all these lots that haven't gone, especially at Terrace Drive, it's been in since the 70s, suddenly they're, yeah. Well, one of the things we did find up there was that some of them, although it's not indicated in the map, they do have stub outs. The problem is those stub outs, Bob, are galvanized.
Really?
They're rotted out. So
Really?
what we need to account for is we start looking more for our leaks. We need to realize there may be a few left up there that are these old connections that are galvanized that they may be leaking, because when they touched it, they basically, it started leaking and breaking.
Yeah.
And what they did is they the crew we have happens to have what they call a freeze device, where they can actually freeze the line prior to the break, and they can immediately unscrew it, put a brass nipple on, and then put a valve on and get it taken care of. But they said this is an indicator of what may be happening with some of the other ones that haven't built on there yet, because that's not really the standard we use, is it? Putting galvanized in the ground for a curb stop, is it, Bob?
Well, not in an area with acidic soils.
Yes.
Low pH soils.
Yeah, that's
Bob,
right.
is, like, it's now 12 meters, I would imagine, water maintenance, 20,671, that's meters.
I ordered 10 or 11 meter sets, and that wasn't even enough because, and they're paying, remember, these customers are paying for
I
it.
was
it
gonna
comes
say,
in.
yeah, we see
Yeah.
this, but the
Right.
other side is we haven't seen the income yet. so-
Yes.
Or a lot,
Right,
most of it.
anyway, it'll all catch up.
Yeah, right, okay.
Okay, so we got those going on. I wanted to give you an update on the Cape Horn Estates PRV. So I'm gonna stand up and kind of point out to the map here, it'll be easier since we have a map here. Sorry for those on Zoom, not gonna be able to see this. Okay, this is Cape Horn Estates up here. We've got, and this is our water, basically our water tower is right up in here. And when we took over the Cape Horn Estates system, the idea was, okay, we've got 2 new water towers up here. If there's a fire, these valves are gonna let water to come down the hill to provide water down below if they need it. Well, what's happened is we also have the Pondery Pines Reservoir right over here. This is actually a little lower elevation than this. The original plan for this was you'd have the PRV valves that would open up and allow this to go down in case there was a fire. But what has happened is because of the difference in elevation, we probably need another 15 feet on top of this. If we leave these PRV valves open, then it'll actually overflow this reservoir. So what we have is we have one valve that's off up here. It will come down the hill this way because this PRV is low enough to allow water to come back down the hill. This one will not without overflowing the reservoir. So we have a valve closed off. If we have a fire, we can open this up. The flip side is, if we do this as originally designed, these people will only have 37 pounds of pressure up here on a glacier loop, this section. So it was kind of a little bit of a design issue. I'm not sure, all of the behind it. The fact is though that if we operate the way this is intended, this reservoir will overflow. So for right now, we've got this valve off. Maybe we can deal with it in the future.
Right.
The other way to handle it, I mean, there's several ways to handle it. The hardest one is probably to raise the reservoir level up 15 feet. That's not gonna work.
No.
But it could also be opening this up and putting a lot of PRVs in here, because this will just spike them with a reservoir up this high. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. We had Prestige Worldwide, which handles our PRVs throughout our system, come up, and we spent some time looking at this, and we actually tried this the way it was designed, and we realized that they're only gonna have 37 pounds of pressure.
How many customers do we have in between there?
In Glacier Loop, yeah.
I'm gonna say probably right in this section here, we probably have a dozen, right here.
That we'd have to put PRVs.
Yeah, because then we'd open it up and then it'd be high, or anyway, we'd have,
Yeah, we need to do
we'd have to use, maybe even we could use a control valve. I have another system where we've done this, and Bob, maybe you've dealt with this as well. You can put a control valve here that says, I'm shutting down, I'm full, I'm shutting down, but I'll let the water out when it's needed. Anyway, I'm just letting you know that because it was unknown to me until I opened it. What is this valve
Yeah,
closed?
you just-
What's this valve here? Because these people, when we
Yeah.
had repaired this line up at Cape Horn Estates, we had the leak. These people down here were out of water, and they weren't supposed to be, because they were supposed to be coming down this way with the water. Well, that was shut off, and as soon as I opened it up, guess what? We opened this whole thing back up, and I'm getting alarmed out. This is getting high, this is getting low,
Oh, Lord.
and we figured out what it was. So, I hope it isn't too confusing. The point is we just simply, something we'll want to address in the future. And if there's a fire in the area, I'll probably want to go ahead and open this up. Just
Can
like
you
that.
open it remotely?
No.
So if
So
there's
they-
a fire where you can't get to it, what do you do?
Well, remember, it comes down this way. It's just that this is a 5-inch coming down this way, this is a 5-inch this way. Right now, this one will function properly. This one will not unless we
Right.
open the valve.
But, all right, if there's a fire and you've got 60,000 gallons up there,
Mhm.
that 60,000 gallons isn't gonna last very long.
I mean, you're correct in that typically,
An hour.
yeah, it'll last an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So.
So that's not a solution to a fire.
Right.
Right.
I mean, you hate to have to run out to open up a valve there, but they do at least have it coming down the hill this way.
Yeah.
They got one way, but not both ways. The other thing I need to do is, a couple times a year, is I need to flush this line, because this essentially becomes a dead-end line for these people right here. So when people leave for the fall, I need to flush it,
Right.
so.
The control valve at that lower reservoir is not that expensive.
That might be a good.
Really nice, cause it'll only open when flows are low,
Yeah,
or reservoir levels are low.
yeah.
And that's what we
control valve
did,
would
we did that at Green Ferry Water District when their tanks were just slightly off. And when I got there 15 years ago, they thought they had a natural creek running next to the reservoir, and it was not. They've been doing it for 30 years.
Holy moly.
Then we put the things dried up after we got that valve in, Bob.
No more creek.
Right, right. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that to the board's attention. It's not necessarily an action item at this point, but I wanted to at least be
Yeah.
aware of that.
Okay.
Okay, sewer system update, land application, treatment site. Bob, did you want to add anything to that? I'm just kind of giving some typical numbers here. We're going to open up as the weather allows and the soil dries out and things like that.
That's exactly where we are.
No, that's it, okay. Under sewer maintenance items, it varies from month to month. Sometimes we'll have 6 or more, and sometimes like this last month, we just had 1. It just depends on what's going on. And we are looking to open the treatment site. Actually, I guess we're looking kind of around the 1st of June, do you think, Bob? Is that?
We're hoping for the 1st of June.
Okay.
We're missing some of our,
Okay.
we're missing our computer for up there, so.
Right, right.
And we had a book like that one you see on the table in front of you, we made a new one up, but
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
we have no idea what happened.
What? Oh, be gone. That's strange.
It is. All right,
It is
But
strange.
was it here in the office or where was it?
Yeah, I mean, it could have gone away up there with the,
I don't know.
We just don't know.
It's kind of
that'd be a lot more
strange.
likely, people have trouble getting in the office to,
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and I can't think of anybody that would,
right.
this is no use to
It was
anybody.
pretty
A book
low.
like that's no use, and the computer's an old computer,
Very old,
but it was still good, all we need is one to handle Excel.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, soaring chlorine costs. Bob, you and I have been hit with this already, haven't we? We're trying to head it off at the pass. There was a fire at a chlorine plant back in Louisiana, and then coupled with the COVID, people instead of traveling are putting in pools. And there's a demand on chlorine, so the combination means that those tablets you use for pools and hot tubs and things like that. Let me put it this way: I have a pond. 40 pound bucket last year was about $80. I found it on Amazon for $400 this year.
Oh,
So with that in mind, we're thinking that most of those that are dealing with pools are going to go to the liquid chlorine, like the kind that we use. So Bob and I decided that we really should have a 3-month supply on hand, which is going to hit our budget early, but that's going to get us. Because we're talking. Remember, we were talking about $3,500 a month for chlorine.
yeah. I know.
So we wanted to get it while the cost is low. We could probably still get the chlorine. The issue is, how much is it gonna be if we let the cost go up? We decided, and we've done this kind of with all of our systems, is to order enough for 3 months to see if the chlorine plants that are producing will increase capacity as they said they will, and then we can get past this hump where it looks like we're gonna have a heavy demand.
Yeah,
on
the supply side could be hit hard.
Right.
By the time they get production up,
Mhm.
well,
Yeah.
before we see it, it's